Hi, this is Lucy Deckard with Academic Research Funding Strategies, and this video is for researchers who are interested in pursuing funding at NIH and want to know how to use NIH RePORTER to identify the program within NIH and study section that they should be asking for. So first of all, I'm going to go to NIH RePORTER, which you can get to just by Googling NIH RePORTER. And this is a very helpful website because it is a database of the funded projects for NIH. And those of you who are new to NIH probably understand how difficult sometimes it is to navigate NIH. It has 27 institutes and centers, which they call ICs, and they fund a wide variety of research, and so it's very important to figure out where your research fits within NIH, and also to understand whether you are asking for the correct study section that's going to review your research. So the NIH RePORTER has actually gotten much better over the years. Those of you who are already familiar with it may not realize that they've added a lot of capacity. So I just wanted to explain how you can use some of this capacity to learn a lot more about where your research might fit. So as an example, I'm going to say that I'm a researcher who's doing work on obesity and behavioral therapy and how to work with, say, kids to help them eat better and look at the effects of that on obesity. So if that were the case, I might go here into the text search area and I might put in as my keywords obesity, behavioral therapy. Then they have the Boolean operator, so I chose and here. You can use or. And I'm interested mainly in RO1s, so I'm going to go over here to activity code and select the RO1 equivalents, and that selects all these things here, and the RO1s and the equivalent programs. Okay, hit select. I have active projects selected. I could look at projects that have already been completed. I can do all kinds of things. I can look for projects that fit these keywords that are for a particular, from a particular institution, from my state, that's started or ended at a certain time. So there's a lot of different things you can look for. And here, just to point out, I can even look for particular program projects that were reviewed by a particular study section, and or that were a response to a particular funding opportunity. So those are all things, and right here. So those are all things that I can do. So this makes it very, very helpful. So I'm going to hit this, submit a query. Okay, so here I've gotten a whole lot of projects came back, and I'm just going to start looking through here. This one's for American Indian communities, doesn't really fit what I'm doing. Socioeconomics, no, not really. Encouraging young adults to make effective nutrition choices. This looks similar to what I'm doing, so let me look at that. So I click on that, and it brings up an abstract, and so that's can be very helpful. I'll look through that and see whether this really does align with the sort of thing that I'm interested in, and so let's say that it really does. So here, these tabs, I'm going to look here under details. Now what details brings up is a lot of helpful information. So it tells me right here the program official. So this is the program that helped fund this particular project. So this person, Dan Rayton, was involved with this. So this is somebody I might want to talk to, and it even gives me his email address. It also says the study section that reviewed this was psychosocial risk and disease prevention study section. So that's helpful. And that the IC was NICHD, the Institute of Child Health and Human Development. So these are all things that can really help me in figuring out whether, where if I'm doing similar work, where my research might fit. But we don't want to stop here. So what I can do is go here to similar projects. Like this is very kind of a cool option they have now. Okay, so they brought up some similar projects, and so I can look through these. And these may be projects that would not have come up with my original keywords, but may actually be quite good. So, um, for example, video games for obesity and diabetes prevention. So I might look that up, and that's going to give me, their abstract, look at details. Gives me a different program officer. This is actually funded by the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. So this is a different institute. Shows me the program within that institute that funded something related to diabetes that may be similar. The other thing and that it shows you is what the funding opportunity was that they were responding to. So this FOA was for a program announcement, PA 10-067. So I could click on that, and that would take me to that program announcement. And I can look here to see who supported it. It looked like everybody supported it here, and get more information here on that. Now it's important to note that this very well may be an expired funding announcement. Turns out this one, the new expiration date was January 2012, so it's expired, but still it can provide some helpful information. Okay, so going back here, you can see the study. This was a special emphasis panel that was for this study that reviewed this particular proposal, and so you can see we can go back and forth. I can either here go back or to the search results that I got earlier and look at some of those. I can keep looking at similar projects, and through this method I can end up with a nice list of potential program officers and that I might want to talk to, and also study sections I might want to look into. So for the program officers, make a note of their email address, their name, which institute they're in, and then Google them and look them up on in that particular IC's website, and you can a lot of times can find a lot more information about them, and that will also help you to figure out whether this is somebody who might be interested in the kind of work you do. And then for the study section, you can actually go then to the study section website, and we'll do that here. Okay, so I'm just going to Google NIH study sections. Okay, and we get our study section roster index here. And let's assume that we want to look at the regular standing study sections. And then we can look through here to find the ones that we saw when we were doing our search, and then look at those in more detail. So let's say we wanted to look at psychosocial risk and disease prevention study section. So that tells us sort of the general things that they're looking at, the kinds of topics that they review, and then I can look at their membership roster, and this tells you who these people are and where they're from, and then you can even go and search on them and look for what kind of papers they've written, and that will give you a good idea again of if these are the right people for you, because you should be being reviewed by people in your research community. If these are people that you've never heard of, if their background's very different, if their papers are not similar to what you're doing, you probably are not at the right study section, so you may want to go back and look some more. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and good luck with finding the right place for NIH that fits your research.